Good morning, IB students. My name is Mr. Tima. Um, we'll talk about that in Google Meets and stuff. But anyway, I just want to give you a quick overview of how my Schoology page is set up. So hopefully you have come to this page by now. This is a year-long page, so you won't have to worry about it switching at the semester. Just a quick overview. Again, there are things that you will not be able to see, like you'll never see this bottom thing, but it's on my screen. But the biggest things right now that we need to make sure we understand is this is the weekly agenda. Okay. That is the one that you'll need to get on every day, probably checking what we're doing. I usually use the calendar. If you go to the calendar, it's going to say, make sure you go to this weekly agenda. It's in chronological order. So it means it'll go from the top to the bottom, the oldest at the bottom, and the newest stuff will always be at the top. But if I'm working on the next week, you might have to scroll down a little bit. Okay. Every week items. Okay. Right now, this is the how do you get to our Google Meets? It's basically you go to Google Meet and you put in the same code every time. Here's the bell schedule for EC. It has both the remote and the hybrid bell schedule on there. Okay, followed by year-long links, and we'll go more into this as we go into class. But this is like how we get to our book and things like that. And then you'll notice there's a week. This will be our first week starting coming up here. Then the next week you'll see another folder, and I'll try to move through that. And there'll be videos explaining things in there in the weeks to come. And there'll be a video every week. And I'm just going to try to make it as easy as possible. Again, here's how we do our Schoology things. Make sure you have your updates on. And other than that, we'll see you when we see you.